Each of us have an impact on this planet, and it's really up to us to look at exactly what our footprints are and minimise, the damage that we're doing. ENV Solutions is an environmental engineering company based in Ballina, New South Wales. Environmental engineering is an interesting amalgamation of working on the environmental side of stuff and engineering. So we look at engineering problems, but from an environmental perspective. And in doing so, we often come up with novel and interesting solutions. We see problems everywhere. So we've got waste problems, we've got air and water pollution, we've got transport issues. Being regional, those things are exacerbated. So some of the solutions that we can put forward to those are really important. And as engineers, that's our job to come up with those solutions. We're looking at alternate energy sources, hydrogen production, microgrids, battery storage, and whether we can integrate that into our local area. If we can become self-sufficient in energy from a renewable source locally, that'd be a great help to everyone. So I grew up in a little town called Alstonville. It didn't have many people when I grew up, maybe 1,000. And it's a sprawling metropolis of 5,000 now. On leaving school, I went off to university in Brisbane, studied environmental engineering. After finishing engineering, managed to get a job and was sent all around Australia and all around Queensland doing some fascinating work. I built marinas off the barrier reef. I inspected dams in Western Queensland, came away with lots of experience. After that, I went travelling. And so I had 4 or 5 years experience under my belt. I went off to Europe, got some fascinating jobs over there in petroleum refineries and doing work all the way around the UK. I came back to Australia and worked for a little local engineering company where I looked after their environmental team. I knocked on the door from my boss one day and said, "Oh, boss, I've had this really great idea. I need to be able to build these, treatment plants so that we can not only, look at the problem, but we've got some equipment to actually, provide the solution." And he's like, "Oh, no, that's never going to work. Concentrate on doing your job and keep your head down." And that night, drafted my resignation letter and handed it in, and that was the start of ENV. That was only a quick 6 years ago, and since then we have grown the business organically to include a massive array of different remediation technologies, some amazing equipment that we've designed and built ourselves to help remediate problem sites. Going through university, some of my subjects didn't make sense until right at either the end, my engineering degree, or moving into the workforce. So it's important to know that you don't need to be brilliant at chemistry and physics to be a good engineer. Other important skills that are needed by engineers are problem solving, analytical thinking. There's definitely some mathematics in there. You don't have to be a brilliant mathematician to be an engineer. You don't need to be a brilliant chemist. You need to have a good broad range of understanding. There's a range of people that we need to run a business like this. We need innovative people who think outside the square. They're strategic, different skills in different areas, in finance, in HR. They are all important to keep this place running. Look, if you're going through school and you don't really know what you want to do, look, the best thing you can do is keep doors open. And for me, if you've got an interest in solving problems, in doing something for the environment, keeping STEM subjects in your curriculum is a great way of keeping doors open into engineering and science.